Hi everyone, I'm at Tommy Thompson Park this morning. Just thought I'd come down here, see what birds I see today. It is the 11th of November, it's 7:30 in the morning, so the sun's just coming up. It might be a little bit early for birds. So far I have heard black-capped chickadees and goldfinch. We'll see what else there is. Hopefully you can hear me. There's a lot of construction in this area, it's quite noisy, but should be okay. This isn't my first video at Tommy Thompson Park, and previously I have been asked why there is concrete lying around here. Let me just turn around and show you. There's these large concrete slabs in different places, and that's because I'm on a peninsula that kind of juts out into Lake Ontario. Initially it was man-made. They were going to build a harbour here for what they thought would be more shipping arriving in Toronto, I think in the 50s or 60s, but that shipping never transpired, and so they gave up on it. In the meantime, what they'd created with concrete kind of attracted as the action of Lake Ontario brought soil and such, and silt from further east, I believe, to this area. It kind of created a landmass. And it became a natural habitat for wildlife and in particular birds. This is one of the premier spots for birding in Ontario. So there you go. The area that I'm in right now is called the Wetwoods. So named because during the spring when the snow melts and there's more rain, it does tend to get quite flooded in here and really muddy, and that's kind of the premier time in this part of the world for birding. It's when all the warblers arrive and such, but right now it's pretty dead, and I might have to give up on the Wetwoods just because it's about 7:45 and it's forecast rain for around 11 o'clock this morning, and I'm not dressed for that. I'm not prepared to stand around in it. So I might just continue further into Tommy Thompson Park and give up here. All I've seen is chickadees and goldfinch, and pretty far away, kind of flying overhead. Goldfinch, you can tell from their flight pattern, it's like an undulating flight pattern like that, so you can tell, and they kind of make a kind of sound as they go. Sounds like they're laughing. It does to me anyway. Otherwise, the only other birds I've seen are these two. Those are a couple of pins I like to wear. A couple of my favourite birds. This is a European robin, and this is from Europe, and this is probably my favourite North American bird. This is a black and white warbler. And here's my England and Canada friendship badge. I hear a bird. Oh, it's a chickadee. Well, that's enough chickadee-based excitement. I hope you like ducks, because that's probably what we're getting today. It's, as I mentioned in my last video, if you're a regular viewer, this is not the best time of year for birds in this area, but it is a good time of year for ducks. So we'll go take a look, head further into Tommy Thompson Park at this point. I've given up on the wetwoods. There's nothing there. A goldfinch. I heard a crow, or possibly a raven. And chickadees galore. Well, there's not even that many ducks so far. So I think what I'm going to do is speed through this walk until I get to some more woods, and hopefully that will be a bit more productive. We'll see. Really far out on the marina over there, there's either a muskrat or a beaver. It's really far out, so hard to tell from the size of it, but I would guess beaver. But from this distance, unless you see the tail, which is long and skinny on a muskrat, or obviously you've got the huge paddle tail on a beaver, unless you see that, really hard to tell, but my guess is beaver, so we'll go with that. Oh, finally, a duck that isn't a mallard. That's a long-tailed duck. A duck that winters here. There's a bird in this tree. I think it's a dark-eyed junco. Doesn't want to show itself. I'm having a hard time getting video of it. But there's a technique called pishing, which sometimes works. It's where you make a pish, pish, pish sound. It can make the birds kind of inquisitive and make them come out. It works better on some species than others. Let's give it a try. Pish, pish, pish. Actually seems to be quite effective with this guy. Oh, some more ducks behind me. Some buffleheads out there. There's some ponds over here at Tommy Thompson Park, what they call cells. They look pretty dead though. Some mallards and oh, there's an American coot out there. That's quite a bit going on here. There's about 20 northern shovelers out on this pond here. I like these ducks, they're pretty preposterous. They've got huge beaks. There's a hairy woodpecker up in the tree. Got a great blue heron out there as well. And there's a couple of wood ducks over there. So I'm going to continue down to another little kind of woodland. It's near a bird banding research station. It's closed now. I think it closes towards the end of September or something like that, once the migration of perching birds is done for the year. But we'll take a look, see if we see anything down here. I will have to turn back shortly, competing with an airplane flying over. Talk a bit louder. The clouds are moving in. The weather is definitely on the turn now. It's about 10 degrees today, unseasonably warm for November 11th, but it's changing. Sunday, it's supposed to get close to freezing. There might even be snow flurries. No! Oh well, let's see what's down here, and then I can maybe hibernate. I wish. I stand corrected, it looks like they are still doing bird banding. I see the signs, and there's some mist nets which the birds kind of get tangled up in. It doesn't harm them, but they are held in place by the nets until researchers come and collect them, and then they put bands on their feet and record their observations, what species and gender, etc. the bird is. The recent and busy work of a beaver or a muskrat. I just spoke to a researcher who was walking along the trail here. I don't like filming people without permission, but we spoke about the birds and how quiet it is today. The researcher was quite surprised. But he did say at the end of this trail, it comes out on a body of water. He did say there's a lot of ducks out there, so let's just skip to more ducks, shall we? He basically told me that there's just chickadees and goldfinch, which is what I've seen. And he mentioned that there's a raven flying around, which I think I mentioned at the beginning of this video. I wasn't sure if it was a crow or a raven, but it's a raven. You can kind of tell, it kind of makes a much more croaky kind of sound. Anyway, let's go check out these ducks. Okay everyone, thank you for watching. I think that's it. It's time for me to leave before the storm arrives. Don't want to get wet, and there's a bit of a walk ahead of me. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving me a subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon, you'll get notifications of new videos. Comments greatly appreciated. Next time you see me in the next video, it's probably going to be a whole lot colder. Stay warm, happy birding, and thanks for your continued support. There's the raven that everyone's so excited about.